They're nice.
Hearing Dale?
They do smell.
Oh, geez, I'm gonna turn that off after we.
Start the meeting.
Yeah. Subcontractor.
Yep,
It's time.
7 o'clock.
okay. Good evening. Welcome to what's the first meeting? Would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have a rather short information items tonight, so we'll get through that. In the city of Torrington's continuing effort to be transparent as possible, we're beginning a project thanks to KGOS, KERM, whereby future council meetings will be live broadcast on YouTube. Tonight is the first test run where you can watch us live and or follow us by searching KGOS Sports on YouTube also. We want to thank Ryan and Grant for making this possible for the public who can't make it to city council meetings. Also tonight, we want to recognize that Michael Norton is here from the City of Torrington IT department, doing the same thing basically. And we have Tyler here from Torrington Telegram covering us. So thanks for all three of you. This time of the year, we're beginning to see snow. Please be reminded that city ordinance requires residents to clear their walks within 24 hours of snowfall. If you're unable to clear your walks or know someone who would have trouble clearing their walks, give us a call and we'll get someone out there to help you. COVID-19 numbers are increasing in the county. As of last Friday, there were 170 active cases and 206 probable cases in the county. 2 Goshen County people have died in the last week, raising the total deaths in Goshen County since COVID began to 38. Currently, 95% of those people hospitalized in hospitals in Wyoming are unvaccinated. Goshen County Public Health continues to provide vaccination clinics, and beginning last week, booster shots are available by appointment. If you're not yet vaccinated, please consider getting the shot. Being vaccinated is the single most effective intervention that we have to prevent your becoming infected with one of the variants of the COVID virus or of spreading it to others. Next vaccination clinic is scheduled for Thursday, November 4th from 1 to 4 in the Pony Express room in Lincoln Center. Work will begin next week, November 8th, on the final sewer upgrade for the year. Alley access will be disrupted between 23rd and 25th in the alley between West A and West B. Paving operations continue at Ridge Road. Curb and gutter are in place along the east side. Currently, they're working on getting the west and north side paved and access. Paving work will now begin and continue probably for about another month. Within the next month, pre-bids and bidding will take place on the $3.5 million wastewater treatment plant, and that construction will then begin early next year, likely continue through 2022. An emergency generator is supposed to arrive next week on the 12th, and installation will take place at the ambulance facility once that happens. That's all I have for information items tonight. Next item of business is the approval of the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the 10/19/21 City Council meeting as published.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We have approved the consent agenda. Next item is to approve the agenda, and there is a correction, or an addition, I should say, to the agenda. And we're going to put it as 1A right behind the words action items. And there are 2 catering permits requested. We're going to handle them separately. And so there's actually 2 items there, but when we get to that point, you can expect that to come up. That is the only addition to the agenda that I have.
Move to approve the agenda with amendments as stated.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. I have a motion to approve as agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the amended agenda. I don't see anything in public forum, so we'll move ahead. Like I said, the first item is item 1A. It is a catering permit. It is for November 4th, 2021, from 4 to 7 p.m. at Farm Girls Boutique. And Brandy Heiser, I believe, is here, if she'd like to come up and explain to us what you're going to do.
Good evening. This is the 4th year I've handled this event for the Farm Girls Boutique, and it's just a customer appreciation event that's 3 hours long from 4 to 7 in the evening. I provide food and drink, and this year for the drinks, we are doing a cocktail, and that is I'm calling it the Merry Mojito to stay in theme with things. And then also a drink called the Holiday Time, and that is just vodka and elderflower tonics. So that will be served along with hors d'oeuvres and appetizers that I prepare.
Okay.
It's usually it's a well-attended event. We get 75 to 100 people. They don't drink much. They carry their drinks around mainly. That you find them sitting in the store and dispose of them. They mainly come for the spinach dip, I think. So,
Council, do you have any questions for Two Horse Catering, right?
Two Horse Hospitality, yes.
Hospitality, I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
Who's actually going to be serving the alcohol?
I will be.
You're the only one?
I am the only one.
Okay. You have tips training, right?
Pardon me?
You have the tips training.
Yes. Yes, I do, and I'm well insured.
I would move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the catering permit.
And I'll
Councilman
second.
Patterson, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We have approved the first one. Second catering permit is from the same Randy Heiser, Two Horse Catering.
Hospitality. That's okay.
Anyway, from 4 to 7 p.m. on November 11th at Old Moose Mercantile.
Correct.
You're on.
It's a very similar event from 4 to 7 p.m. Both businesses are owned by the same person, so we see a lot of the same people. So it's just going to be a simple cocktail and appetizers, 3 hours, and I think Taryn's going to have some live music there as well. So that's the only change. So I work at these businesses during the holidays, and so I know the crowd I'm serving.
Okay. Questions or
I
concerns?
do have one. In both of these, it says alcoholic drinks or non-alcoholic drinks will be differentiated. How will you do that?
I have a variety of cups, and so alcohol will be served in one style of cup, and it'll be clearly obvious non-alcohol in a colored cup.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you're the only one serving?
Absolutely.
Chief, I saw your stuff, no problem.
Yeah, this is very similar to what we've done in the past. These events are no problem. The only slight difference is this year, because Brandy has changed liquor license status. The catering permit is technically going to Ethan Fitch with the Mint Bar. We did some research, Ms. Sylvia and I spoke with the liquor division. Pretty common thing these days to do a temporary catering permit in that function, so shouldn't be a problem.
And I'll be acting as an employee of the Mint Bar.
Pardon?
I will be an employee of the Mint Bar for that evening.
Okay.
So,
Other questions or concerns?
I'd move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Kinney to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the catering permit for Old Moose Mercantile on the 11th. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? You have them both.
thank
Good
you
luck.
very much.
Hope it goes
Hope to
well.
see you out.
All right, that brings us to item 1, proclamation. Attorney Eddington.
Thank you. Whereas National Apprenticeship Week is celebrating the 7th anniversary of raising awareness of the vital role registered apprenticeship providing creating opportunities by allowing apprentices to earn while they learn and preparing a pathway to well-paying careers in the city of Torrington, Wyoming, and across the nation. Whereas registered apprenticeship programs enable employers to develop and train their future workforce while offering career seekers affordable paths to secure high-paying jobs. Whereas the city of Torrington, Wyoming recognizes the role of registered apprenticeship in expanding the opportunities in our workforce that are inclusive of individuals that have been historically underserved, marginalized, and adversely affected by persistent poverty and inequality, thus providing a path for all qualified individuals, including women, youth, people of color, rural communities, justice-involved individuals, and individuals with disabilities to become apprentices and contribute to America's industries. Whereas the city of Torrington, Wyoming recognizes that registered apprenticeship, a proven industry-driven training model, provides a critical talent pipeline that can train and build up our workforce to address our nation's pressing issues such as responding to climate change, modernizing our cybersecurity response, addressing public health issues, and rebuilding our country's infrastructure. Now therefore, I, Randy L. Adams, Mayor of the City of Torrington, Wyoming, do hereby declare November 15 through 2021, as National Apprenticeship Week in the City of Torrington, Wyoming.
Thank you, sir. I believe we have Dana here tonight. Dana, would you like to speak to this?
We are nationally recognized with the U.S. Department of Labor apprenticeship training program. We have one apprentice right now. We just lost one to Gunnison, Colorado, unfortunately. We will be hiring one here before too long, hopefully. But being recognized with the U.S. Department of Labor is important. There is criteria to be able to be recognized, which we are. So, you know, it's a good thing for the city of Torrington.
I understand you have a couple of applicants that
Yes.
you're looking at.
That have gone through the training school in Alliance, through the Powerline Training School. So hopefully, you know, one of those or one other, you know. We've trained them before when they've had no experience, so, you know, hopefully we can find somebody that's gonna foot the bill.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for Dana from the council?
Is there any monetary help from anything, any unions or anything like that?
No.
For an apprenticeship program?
No. There are internships, and I've thought about that. The kids who are getting out of Powerline School are looking for internships. It's basically about $10 an hour, and I've thought about budgeting for that, maybe to do an internship with somebody. That way they get some experience, whether they work for us or somebody else. I know Wirelick does that, Village Moral does that, other entities do that, so I've thought about that, maybe thinking about budgeting for that.
We looked into that with the water department. It
Yeah.
just never came to fruition, but
Right,
we're trying.
right.
I have a question.
Anything else? Go ahead.
How long does the apprenticeship last?
The apprenticeship is all the way through till they journey out, become a journeyman lineman, which is 4 years of the merchant program, and then 8,000 hours of categorized hours of on-job training hours. So it's a long process. It's basically like a college degree. One good thing about the training program at Alliance is they get them through the first 3 years of the merchant program, so they only have 1 year to finish when they get with us.
Interesting. Thanks.
When they sign on as an apprenticeship, are they obligated to stay here for so long?
No.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dana.
Thanks.
Entertain a motion, council.
I'd move to approve the proclamation.
Councilwoman Steinwalk, thank you. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation setting November 15th through the 21st as National Apprenticeship Week in the city of Torrington. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Dana, appreciate it. Item number 2 under action items is ordinance on third reading. Attorney Eddington.
An ordinance amending and reenacting section 3.04.110 Torrington Municipal Code 2021 revisions relating to public records request fees.
Okay, this is our third reading. We have had 2 previous readings. I don't believe there were any corrections during those 2 readings. Matt, you are the person. Is there anything you'd like to comment on? Okay. Council, do you have any questions or concerns?
I would move to
Okay,
approve it on third reading.
I have a motion from Councilman Patterson to approve on first reading, or excuse me, third reading. Motion to approve, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve item number 2, an ordinance on third reading, public records request. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We have approved the ordinance on public records. Item number 3, ordinance on third reading, Attorney Eddington relating to weeds.
An ordinance amending and reenacting Chapter 8.44 of the Torrington Municipal Code 2021 revisions relating to weeds.
Okay, again, we have had first and second reading on this. We didn't have, I think we made a little correction once. Anything since that time? Okay, any information we need? Okay, very good. Council, do you have any questions?
I'd move to approve the ordinance on third and final reading.
Councilman Kinney, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance on third reading relating to weeds. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the ordinance on third reading. Item number 4, ordinance on third reading relating to tobacco products on city property. Attorney Eddington.
An ordinance amending and reenacting Section 8.60.010 of the Torrington Municipal Code 2021 revisions relating to regulation of tobacco products on city property.
Okay. Once again, this was third reading. We've had 2 previous readings. I believe there's some questions a couple of times, but other than that, any changes, revisions?
No changes, no new information I'm aware of.
Okay. Council, do you have any concerns?
Just the one, like we talked before about putting up a sign in certain areas saying like this is 75 feet on a playground. I mean, everybody's not gonna know that, you know, but I don't know whether it would be, signage would be the way to do it or what.
Well, there's a couple of different options for us on that. As we've kind of talked about coming through this, our goal in implementing this ordinance was making it something that we'd be willing to enforce. And so if we contact a person or observe a person who's within 75 feet of a playground and is consuming tobacco products, our first step would be to inform them of the ordinance and ask for compliance. If they refuse, we would obviously change our tactics and provide a little more motivation for compliance. If we have concerns about those in any areas, or if we need to have signage, like say on the walking path that we've kind of talked about a couple of times, it's very easy to put up those signs. It doesn't have to be a significant sign to make those notifications.
I've seen in different cities where they'll have, you know, a fair-sized sign at all the parks that lists certain things. Dogs must be on a leash, no tobacco, you know, whatever. And
We have those at some of our parks already.
yeah, so I'm wondering that.
Anything else?
I would move to approve this on third reading.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion to approve the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the regulation of tobacco products on city property. Third reading. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved all 3 of those on third reading, and they go into effect tomorrow, right, Sylvia? Well, not tomorrow, but,
They'll be published Friday.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
It's 30 days from then, right?
No, it's after it's published
Oh.
in the paper, so.
Okay, item number 5, ordinance on first reading relating to A.B. Miller Airport Edition. Attorney Eddington.
An ordinance annexing within the corporate limits of the city of Torrington, Wyoming, real property to be known as the A.B. Miller Airport Addition.
Thank you. Dennis is not here tonight. Jeff, you're on.
Okay. What this is the county assessor brought it to our attention that this piece of property that you see up on the screen in blue was never annexed into the city. It is owned by the city of Torrington, and so our efforts to find any previous ordinance where this parcel would have been annexed resulted in failure. So what we're going to do is we'll just do the annexation now and include that as part of the, within the city of Torrington's boundary. If you look up at the screen, this is the airport boundary outlined. The parcel in blue is the parcel in question. If you go closer up, you can see that this was the recent purchase that we did as part of the taxiway modifications. Then another little piece of parcel that was up here. This parcel here is also owned by Miller, and actually it was owned by the city of Torrington, but we deeded that back to Miller as part of the negotiations to get this parcel. So basically that's it. Nothing more than just cleaning up the records.
Okay, cleaning up the details. Council, do you have questions for Director of Public Works Harkins?
Yes, where is this exactly? Where would the FBO building be in comparison to this?
FBO building would probably be in this general area right around in here. This is the main runway, 1028, going northwest to southeast.
Right.
This is the crosswind runway. What this is the runway protection zone, the RPZ, and it goes perpendicular to the main runway.
Thank you. I wasn't quite sure, but I thought that might be it, because it seems like that piece had to stick out. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Are there any structures or anything on this property?
No.
Is it big enough to where you could put hangars and stuff on it?
And not in that location, because that's the runway protection zone. There's no structures allowed in that area.
That is why we got that property, to
Yes.
extend the runway, so.
Exactly.
So it's a weed field.
The city has owned it for some time.
To my knowledge, I think it was recorded in 1988.
Okay, thank you.
Just never annexed.
Right. We purchased it, but it was never annexed.
Okay,
2 years before my time, I want to make sure you know that.
excuse me?
2 years before I became city attorney.
Man, that's a long time ago.
That is a long time ago.
See,
I
was that,
just started that year, though. Couldn't even find the courthouse, let alone know how to annex it.
is that Mitchell's era? Blame him?
Well, that would have been
Been Steve
Steve
Graham.
Graham, would have been
Oh.
the city attorney.
That's a long time ago.
That's been a while.
Okay, any other questions or concerns for Mr. Harkins? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I would move to approve on first reading the ordinance annexing the Miller Airport Edition.
Thank you, Councilman Kenny. We have a motion to approve on first reading. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve annexing the AB Airport Edition on first reading. Further discussion?
Does any of this have to be publicized as to what we're doing?
Say that again?
Does any of this have to be publicized that we're annexing this property?
No, and the reason is because it's owned by the city of Torrington, so there's a statute that when we own real estate, we don't have to have a public hearing, we don't have to do a viewer's report, we can automatically bring it in if we state in the ordinance that it's owned by us. So it's a simplified process if we're the owners.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay,
Thanks, Jim.
further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We have approved the first reading on Airport Edition. Thank you, Mr. Harkins. All right, next item, item number 6, award to bid one new 3/4 ton extended cab pickup chassis with Toolbox. Staff references are Clerk Treasurer Strecker, Mike Lira, who is with our Facilities Department, and Dennis, who is not here. So, Lynette, you want to take this?
Sure. So we opened bids on October 20th, 2021. We received quite a few bids, as you can see there. Some of the companies bid a 1 ton, and some of them bid a 3/4 ton. So we actually spec'd a 3/4 ton, and the lowest bid here is Transwest Ford. Basically, the trade-in is what made the big difference in this case. But I always like to do business local, so that's a benefit to us. The budget is for $55,000, and the low bid is $53,500. So we believe that it's city's best interest to award the bid to Transwest Ford.
And Mike, does it meet the specifications that you guys put down?
It does.
Other
Is it-
questions?
Is it a problem that delivery is 300 days? Just
I don't
Yeah.
think we
Like
have
our
a
fire
choice.
Hopefully, we can keep the other vehicle running until then, but all of the outcomes were pretty far out.
I was out at Ford this last week with a personal vehicle, and they are so backlogged because of the chip thing and all of that, that if you order a new one today, it could be 6 months, is what they told me.
But they'll still honor that 6,500?
I believe so. It is in there, and they did provide a bid guarantee, so.
Okay.
Mike, when is it gonna get here once again?
October of next year?
300 days, right?
Well, hopefully sooner, though. I
September.
mean,
Yeah, well, anyway.
that's the
Could be,
longest.
could be
Very
300
good.
days.
I guess for me, I would need to have somebody tell me why this needs to be replaced with, when I only drive it less than 300 miles a month. And I haven't yet, in 50 years of working in automobile, I've yet to figure out, see a vehicle that can't be repaired. So why does this one need to be replaced?
Maybe Mike can answer that question, or Jeff?
It's about 19 years old, 130,000 miles on it. It does need some engine work, transmission work, seats are falling apart, and toolboxes are no good anymore, they're rusting out. It's been used throughout the years.
This pickup spent quite a little time in the shop too, hasn't it? Power steering, tires, generator, or alternator, or whatever it was. Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, I entertain a motion.
I'd move to approve the purchase of the 3/4 ton extended cab pickup.
Thank you, Councilman Kenny. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion to second.
I
to
need a
approve.
motion with who you're going to award the bid to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
please.
Okay, I would have moved to approve Transwest Ford win the bid for the 3/4 ton extended cab pickup.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Kenny. Councilman Steinbach,
you.
you still second?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion and second on the floor. Further discussion?
I think it is good also that we are doing business locally. I like that idea, so thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Passes 4-1. Okay, item number 7, award to bid all-wheel drive articulating tractor. Staff recommends awarding the bid to L.L. Johnson of Denver, Colorado in the amount of $43,067.27. Staff reference, Lynette Strecker, Clerk Treasurer. Ed Hawley, who is also here, Streets and Sanitation Supervisor. Lynette, you want to start?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The bid for the articulating tractor was opened on October 27th at 2 p.m. We received 2 bids, one from Mack Equipment out of Loveland, Colorado. There was no bid guarantee in the bid, so it is automatically disqualified. The second bid came from L.L. Johnson out of Denver, Colorado. Both of the bids were for a Ventrac 4500Y. And the L.L. Johnson bid was also the low bid. So delivery for this is 210 days out. The amount is split between two departments, the Parks Department and the Streets Department, $21,000 each, for a total of $42,000. There is $1,067.20 that is not budgeted, which will be taken equally from two GL lines, which is 1065-300 and 1060-700. 1065-300 is Parks, Professional Services, and 1060-700 is Streets and Sanitation's Facility O&M. We believe that the city's best interests are served by awarding the bid, and staff recommends to award the bid to LL Johnson.
These are interesting pieces of equipment. They do a lot of different things. They are very stable, they're very dependable, and so on. They are expensive, but they're incredibly good and last a long time, do a great job. Ed, did you want to comment about any of this?
In the summer months, we use the one that Matt has for parks. We put duals on it to mow the bypass route, because it's about the only thing that's stable enough to stay there. And then if Matt needs it, we have to take the duals off of it, so it gets to be kind of a painful process. Part-time, it isn't put back right, and we end up losing a wheel. Get one for each place, and he can do his thing, we can do our thing.
They are really good on that steep slope, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
And I believe, yeah, and Matt also uses it for snow removal in the winter, puts a blade on it, and it has a cab, and it works really nice for sidewalks in smaller areas.
Okay.
Won't do the same with ours, but I still can't get across the bridge.
Council, do you have any questions or comments?
Just comment that I didn't know what a Ventrac 4500Y was, so I looked it up. And it's designed for that steep terrain where a conventional tractor can't operate safely and stuff. It's a pretty impressive machine, so.
Anything else? Okay, council, I entertain a motion.
I move to approve the bid.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Patterson to approve the bid for the Ventrac. Is there a second?
Johnson.
To R.L. Johnson?
LL Johnson.
L.L. Johnson of Denver, Colorado, in the amount of $43,000. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Steinbach, thank you. Have a motion and a second by Patterson and Steinbach to approve the purchase. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Number 8, approval of the bills from 10/20/21 through 11/02/21. Clerk Treasurer,
It's okay.
a long day.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. So attached to your agenda were a list of bills, and I also handed out a second set for your consideration tonight. I did answer a few questions for Councilman Kenny already, but I'd be glad to answer any other questions at this time.
On page 3 of the first set of bills, I've seen it on there quite a bit. What is the Family Support Registry?
Which one, Dennis?
Family Support Registry?
3560.
Okay, I see.
I anticipate that's child support.
That is child support, yes. It's a payroll withholding out of a paycheck that then we turn around and pay for their child support.
Okay.
Yep.
I would move to approve payment of the bills.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Patterson to pay the bills. Is there a second?
Second?
Councilman Kenny, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve payment of the bills. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We paid the bills. Item number 9 is public comment. If there's anybody here tonight who would like to speak to the council, ask questions, whatever, please come to the podium, state your name and your address, and the council, I guarantee you, will listen. Lancer, do you want to talk to the council tonight? Do you have anything to add? Come on in.
That is a pretty truck that you're getting. It's showing up more and more on the
Yeah, so the only thing I really have is to talk about the truck again. We talked about it last week, but we received some notification from our representative that they want us to come out the 17th through the 20th of this month, I believe, to do the post-build inspection. So I think completion is supposed to be on the 17th, and then we'll be out there to look at it. So after that, they'll have to go through and repair or fix anything that we find, and then I believe it will go to Colorado for some final mounting of equipment and whatnot, and then, so, on schedule.
I saw the pictures on Facebook. It's pretty.
Yeah. The color scheme, I
Try to
think, is
keep it
really
that
neat.
way.
And then the lettering is reflective, actually, and some of the paint is reflective, so at night it will show up well.
Wow.
So,
What brand is this?
Pierce,
Yours?
yeah.
Did you do a raffle to see who gets to drive it back?
No, well, they'll deliver it from Colorado, so,
They're not going to drive it down there, are they?
yeah.
They're not going to trailer it? I thought we'd get 0 miles on it
No,
or something. No?
They have employees that's all they do, is they drive fire trucks around to different parts of the country, and they fly them back, so,
Oh, that wouldn't be a bad job.
no, not at all, so. But,
Lights and sirens the whole way?
So
yeah, they,
Yeah. And
what you
lights,
need to
yeah.
do is put a little ding in it, so just get it done. The first one done.
we hope it doesn't take, we hope it takes a long time for that to happen, but I'm sure something will occur. Always does. But that's all I really have, so.
And how are you gonna change the parking garage around to where it fits?
We have it measured out, and it'll fit in the bays. We'll probably have to get rid of one piece of equipment. We're not exactly sure what we're gonna do with it at this time. We may be able to put it down at the South Fire Hall as well. We may have to rearrange the station a little bit, but according to our measurements and whatnot, it should be able to fit. It will fit, not should be able to, so, sorry.
Fast enough it'll fit.
Well, that's true.
Don't leave it out.
Yeah, it'll fit. We got that part figured out.
Portable garage.
There you go.
A big portable garage.
Yeah. So,
Thank you. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
thank you.
I do have.
Okay, Councilman Kenny.
If you remember, Mr. Harkins, that the Mr. Wright, I believe it was, came and talked to us about that fire hydrant. And I was wondering if anything had been accomplished with that. We talked about reflective tape or something like that around it. Do you recall?
The one that was at the end of his driveway?
Yeah.
I recall the conversation. I'll have to check with the water department, see if they did put any type of reflective tape or anything around it. But like we told Mr. Wright at that time, we don't have any budget for it right now, but it is scheduled as part of the, level 1 study to be
Right.
replaced at some point. in
Dale,
the
do you know
future.
if we did anything to it?
There's a spring-loaded flag marker that's been attached to it.
Oh,
Oh, okay, good.
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah. I was just walking through the park today and noticed on some of the ballards along there that they have that reflective tape on them that are by the streets, and that made me think of that for tonight. So, anyway, thank you. Thanks.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I have one. I wanted to express my appreciation to you, Mr. Mayor, and to KGOS and KERM for doing this. I sincerely appreciate the efforts of trying to make this as transparent as possible, so thank you.
Good, thank you. I second that. Thank you.
No, thanks.
Any other comments? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.